regarding the impact on the university or in the college, how will this affect our 18 to 24-year-old students? And is there an impact about misusing hemp? Is there an addiction process, some kind of addiction process when we're using hemp in any way?
So I spoke before we conducted, before I even agreed to meet with Sutton, I conducted extensive research. And I met with a toxicologist. And he was not able to be here today because he is at UCSD. However, this is not, which is why this forum was important to reiterate that hemp is not marijuana. And it is not. And he told me, Martha, physiologically there's no impact, physiological impacts. He said jokingly, I don't know if a person even smoked like a truckload of it, if there would be any physiological impacts. And if you would like his name, I'll gladly share his contact information. But I want all of you to be aware that I conducted extensive research before even being willing to hold this discussion and consider it.
Dr. Garcia, I am on the board, as you know, and I wanted to explain to everybody why we're having this meeting, okay? It was presented to us in a board meeting last month, and I really felt that the community needed to know what we were looking at, and that we weren't going to make a decision based upon just our reaction to one performance. But everything that I have seen looks like it's only going to create positives for Imperial Valley College, and I hope that I'm seeing things correctly.
I'd like to add to address these types of concerns and questions. One of the reasons, and I've been asked, why the IVC? Why did you approach the IVC, not someone else? And we understand that this industry requires a lot of, there's a learning curve. It requires a lot of information, a lot of education, not only to the people involved directly, but to the community. And I think the IVC is a perfect platform for that, being the community college that it is. And we fully plan to endeavor into more community outreach and more educational forums like this, if not with IVC, but at least the priority as a whole. Because we understand that people need to understand the plant, and they need to understand the industry more to be supportive of it. We want to engage in the dialogue. Lauren, who's sitting over here, she's been brought on our team to provide public outreach, to answer some of the tough questions when we're not available, and to organize these types of forums. So we look for help on that. We want to branch out and try to explain to everyone in the community what's going on and what this plant is and what the opportunities around that really are.
Good afternoon. My name is Cody Hart. I come from the tribal component within the community of Imperial Valley, and I really hope that IVC considers this. Involves my tribe. I'm a tribal member with the Kachan tribe, which is the largest employer of Imperial County and Yuma County. And we hope that Imperial Valley really considers this. The school supports it. The individuals that I represent are major landowners on the reservation. We are the second largest tribe in the state of California. And a lot of our land base is agriculture. But we really consider that, or ask that you guys come meet us, explain to the IVC's, what we can offer not only tribal children, but residents of Imperial County that reside in that area, because we do play a large component of Imperial County.
So definitely glad to visit, and in response to you and to everybody here, if this partnership was approved, because I'm I'm not certain that it will be presented to the board and they'll make a decision. If it was approved, I make a commitment that if there's anybody else that is interested in creating a similar partnership, my commitment is to serve all of you as best as I can. And obviously that the opportunity to partner, if this is approved, and obviously we're going to learn from it, that opportunity will be available for others as well.
Okay, and I only say that because we don't follow the city, county, state, any of that ordinance, law, or regulation that you speak of. The only thing that we follow is the state guidelines for transportation, and obviously we're not going to transport it to Yuma, so we got to come through the valley. So that's something that I think we, as landowners, would be interested in partnership and research, and really grow that industry.
Yeah, and I want to add to Dr. Garcia's point. Yeah, I was extremely surprised by the stat that you presented on the top curriculum, top course, and I didn't see agriculture on that list. You know, this came out of this where we are now came out of a dialogue to try to engage in this partnership around the specific industry. But I hope that it can become, you know, a format for agriculture and other industries to engage in. I think this just happens to be one agricultural commodity and an industry around it. But you know, as someone that's in agriculture, I'm you know, baffled by how you know, we don't have more agricultural opportunities, and so hopefully we can use this specific track to open it up to other industries, to other opportunities, and like Martha said, to just engage in these types of relationships that will benefit the community.
So I'd like to add, us being here today is a representation of my commitment to try to enhance the collaborations with in the local industry that we know provides our greatest revenue for this community. And I will openly state this, I thank Dr. Kanye, he's done a phenomenal job and has tried to enhance collaboration. But we, as the college, have to admit that we haven't done the best we could to collaborate with local industries in the fashion that we can. And this is definitely a testament to my commitment to do that. I look forward and invite any of you to come visit, schedule an appointment, and let's have an open discussion. The commitment from the college is definitely reflected in today's event. Thank you.
Hey Martha, I just want to let you know there was a meeting, I think, was it Monday or Tuesday, at the Farm Credit Building. It was the first meeting in the valley about industrial hemp. The ag department was there. There were some UC people there, and it was a full house of farmers. So there is a lot of people looking at this industry. Sutton is the leader for sure, but throughout California, throughout the United States, there's, I think last year, and I'll just use statistics, but there was a chart that Kentucky, North Carolina, Oregon, Colorado, collectively, they probably had 30,000 acres. Last year, I think Kentucky had 7,000. This year, they're going to 70,000 acres. So every state is ramping huge. North Carolina is also a huge producer. But it's all weather driven because they're in a belt that feeds that industry, and they're all tobacco growers looking for a new home for their land that they can't grow tobacco on anymore. Here in our valley, we've always been blessed with a lot of crops to grow, but it's still an opportunity that we're looking at as farmers to expand our base, have rotational crops, use organic transition ground, and have something that we can stay current on. And economics speak very highly for the crop right now. But you know, I applaud Sutton for getting this together. I applaud you for having this. I sit with Sean on the Imperial Valley Economic Development Corporation. I welcome you to be engaged. I know we have someone that's on the board. Sorry.
From the college?
Yeah, someone from the college sits on the board. So there is engagement at that level, but it's more trying to attract industry here. And I think what we don't do a good job is reaching out to the industry that's already here in the valley and expanding those industries. And this is one that where the college can do a really great job of just going and interviewing industries that are here and talking to people that are engaged in Mexicali, talking to transfer opportunity colleges. I know that you look at that, but if you're only focused on associate degrees, you're not looking at transfer opportunities for students. And how can they build their resume to go transfer, to say, get a 4-year ag degree? And I don't know if that's something that this school looks hard at, but it's something that, you know, food safety, because we grow lettuce and vegetables, is becoming a bigger and bigger issue. And that is a highly technical subject that most people don't want to focus on. And traditional ag labor has always been manual labor or drivers or irrigators. And we're becoming much more in the technical side of managing the field, managing the water source, managing chemical use. And it's just becoming inventory control, and a lot of that is process driven. And it requires a highly educated person to understand the impact of their action. So it's, you know, if you want to look at every field out here as a factory, that's essentially what we do every day. Every 12 months, we flip the factory and put a new crop in. So it's kind of switching the mentality of looking at farming. And I think hemp's a great example of how you can really grow your base. So I support you, Nick.
I sincerely appreciate your comments, and to be very candid with you all, initially when I was approached about this potential opportunity, I sincerely was not interested in even discussing it, because I was asking myself, how as a first-year president, or why would I be interested in having this discussion, and potentially because of the fact that not everybody understands the difference between hemp and marijuana. However, after I spoke to Sutton, and once I realized the potential economic and social development to our community that this presents, I was willing to take the risk, because ultimately I feel that if approved, this is going to benefit our community and those that we are here to serve.